Hey, everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another One Filmmaker, One Film. And today we have a very special episode. And my special guest is.
Hi, I'm David Sterling. I run Sterling Entertainment. I've done it for a while, and I'm do a lot of things. I'm a producer for hire. I teach filmmaking. I make my own movies too that I own, and I have my own distribution company, which we do, and we'll get into all this: box sets, collectibles, Blu-rays, DVDs, streaming, and downloads and that kind of stuff. And I do things a little differently, which we'll talk about how I run my company versus like a typical. You make a film, what you should do with it and stuff like that. Every movie's different, so every deal is different. I've done a lot of these films. I'm really known for the Camp Blood series, but I've done things. I've done 5 witchcraft films. I did a lot of films with like Jeff Leroy. We did like Spider Films, Creepies 1 and 2. We did Alien 3000. We did The Screaming. We did Witch's Sabbath, which I really like. I work for like labels like Cleopatra Records or Entertainment, which I've done about 7 movies, and I work with different people and different directors, and even just different things. I've done I've done horror movies, I've done sci-fi movies, I've done cheap movies, a little more expensive and expensive films. My movies are all over the place, like a lot of other filmmakers, but I don't really classify myself really as a filmmaker. I'm more a producer, business person. I'm not in the film business, but I'm in the business of film, and I work with. I'm not a director, though I could direct, but I like working with many directors, so I have different products, different actors, different crews, but I put my Sterling Entertainment flair, and I modeled my company after companies like Canon Films from the 80s, Empire Films, and a lot of people compare me, even though we're not, they're a much better company, I think, to like a micro budget Full Moon. And I actually did a Full Moon movie. I worked with Charlie Band before. We did Demonicus. And I worked, we'll talk about what I'm doing, but I could talk about what we used to do and how things changed. And some stuff for the better and some for the worse, but that's life. So that's my intro.
Well, and I really appreciate you being on. When David was doing his show, he had me on a bunch of times, which I really appreciated. So I thought it would be nice to have a special episode with him where he's talking about being a producer and these box sets, because I have crowned him. I have donned him king of the box sets. So I think these box sets are amazing, and I think people should pick them up. So I definitely wanted to have him on board, to talk about these things. So it's how many films do you think you've made? 50, over 50?
Okay. No, like it says on my website, if you go there to SterlingMovieFactory.com, it says 50, but I haven't changed that website in 16 years.
Oh.
So I've done, I figured I produced around 175 movies, and I probably worked on other people's films, trailers, editing, probably like, I'm in 150 to 200 films at this point. And I've only done doing it for 3 years, so I'm like, I'm quick. I work fast. You know what I mean?
You do, and 50 seemed like a low number, so that's why I was kind of like 50. Like, that doesn't seem right.
50, at this point, it's like I'm talking to somebody now, and I did I did a film in the early 2000s with this guy, and we haven't worked together. I go, that's like 100 movies ago, dude, or maybe even more. So, but like I'm in the business of making movies. So like my thing is to make a lot of good movies, and I don't make them for me. And you know, the fans choose the movies I want to make. Because if I make a movie and the fans don't like it, or they don't want to rent it or buy it or whatever now they do to it, then I got to see what they really like. Like I'm really known for the Camp Blood and Things series. I think both series are fun. But like I've done so many better movies, you know, if you watch Devil's Domain, which a lot of this stuff you can find on Tubi, or if you see the 27 Club, which I did with Hall of Fame rock and roller Todd Rundgren. And, you know, I work with a lot of musicians because I got a musician. I'm not a musician, but I got a music background also. I've been doing stuff. Let's see. I've been doing it for a little bit since high school, about 18 years old. And like, what am I, 28 now? So a few years.
Somewhere around there.
Whatever.
27, 28.
Yeah, you know, I forget. No, what's the number, you know?
So,
anyways,
I mean, you do have a lot of series. So do you prefer working on series, or do you like individual films, just kind of like standalone movies better? What do you prefer?
Well, you know, I like both. I like the idea of the sequel. You know, if I do a film I like that people like Camp Blood and stuff like that, or Things, or movies that I haven't done sequels, but I'm planning to. You know, The Occultist, which we could talk about that a little later because that's a special series. Or like, I like The Axe Grinder. We just did 3. I'm gearing up to do 4 and 5. So we have a series. We'll have movies if you're either just collect the movies or you like them in the box set or whatever else. So I like series, but like if I'm doing like individual films, like Witch's Sabbath, I love that film. It's a lot of one-offs. You know, you do a lot of films, you do a lot of one-offs. But if you're running a business, you want to do. They love Camp Blood. I mean, you know, so more sequels, and we're doing. You know, we're working on an animated one, which you're also one of the starring voices. And
yes, thank you.
Right now, it's called Camp Blood 10. No, Camp Blood X. Camp Blood X. X marks the spot. And I love the Axe Grinder series. Like Axe Grinder, when one is done from one of my favorite directors I work with, Dave Palmieri, and that movie, yes. I actually like the Axe Grinder movie better than the Camp Blood. But everybody's different what they like and when they watched it. You know, when they're certain ages or certain periods or whatever. Axe Grinder, I like working with Dave Palmieri. He's a studio guy, he's a professional studio guy, and we've been friends a long time. The first movie that we worked on together ended up on Showtime Beyond called Possessed, or it's called AKA Studio 666. So I really like working with Dave. And Dave, we've done like a lot of films like Disaster Wars and 3. We did the last 3 Witchcrafts, which I really like. But he's very busy working on stuff. So when I get him, we did Claude 2 in New York last year. I wasn't on set, but it's really good. It's a little different than Claude, but I think it's like more of an artsy horror film. You know, it's not just slash gash boobs, but it has all that kind of stuff in it. But I think if people watch it, it's a slow burn. So you gotta like sit through it, but there's a payoff. And I think it's going up on Tubi soon. I want to get it on Blu-ray pretty quick. Next year, hopefully make Camp Blood Claw 3 and 4, so we can do a box set, you know, because I think those movies are really good. We'll see if Dave will want to direct them. And, you know, but I like Dave a lot, just not just business-wise, but personally. We've been friends for a long time and stuff. So it's, you know. Well,
yeah, I'm a big fan of Claw. I like Claw quite a bit. I've watched it a couple times.
That's the Axe Grinder box. I'm just going to hold them up really quick because I'm very shaky. There's an axe.
Well,
and,
that's
Judd Rowan was.
Yeah, that's a good segue. No, it's That's a good segue with you
Right.
holding up the box. So let's go to the box sets then. So I'll show if you have it there,
I
you
just
could
wanted
show
to
it.
mention,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to mention Jed Rowan. He's the axe grinder. He's the, and well, you know, he's the axe grinder. And this was like, it's kind of dedicated to Jed, you know. So, because I think he did a great job as the axe grinder in the first movie.
Oh yeah,
The second
yeah.
one's fine too. You worked on the second one. That's fine
I
too. We just need more
Yeah.
so we get the series going. I think if people will keep liking that series for a long time.
I like him a lot as the original axe grinder, and to be honest, is I did want him back in the second film. You know, as some people may know and may not know, I wrote the story for Axe Grinder 2. I created the look for the Axe Grinder. I'm an associate producer on it, so it's something that I feel that I worked hard on, and I would love to have him back as the Axe Grinder in one of the other films. So I think it'd be great to have him back.
We might do something with him on 4 and 5. We're hopefully shooting a month, but so this week is have to do all these stuff to lay the ground so we can go and shoot. It's going to be a double, two of them, which I think it'll be okay since we did Witchcraft 14, 15, 16 at one time, so I have a little knowledge of doing stuff quickly and you know, like those Witchcrafts that we did them real quick. And they're not the greatest movies ever, but I think they're kind of watchable. They're entertaining.
They're fun.
You know, they delivered. They're not like Witchcraft 5 where they shot on film and they had a big budget and all that. But that, you know, that was a different time, a different period or whatever. And people like Witchcraft, they want more Witchcraft films. I guarantee they want more and we're working on that too, possibly a box set. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes. I know we're going to talk about box sets, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into these box sets. So, you know.
That's true. So now there's our segue. So I wanted to start with the Camp Blood one because that was the first one to come out, if I believe correctly. And
yes,
I got there's mine, and I think David's grabbing his. Do you have one too?
Mine.
Oh, there's his. And we got there. Oh, Camp. There we go.
Yeah, I you know, my first one. I love this one. A lot of people do. This is
it's very
popular.
Yeah, it's very detailed, and this is the one that's the most complete.
Right.
It even has the name on the little tongue right there. I mean, that's cool. Right. So if you
we don't skip stuff around.
No, because this has.
I don't have any of mine.
Oh, there we go. Oh no! Well, good. I got mine then. So we got Camp Blood 1 and 2. That then leads into 3, and then it goes into 4, 5, and then we got 6, 7, and then that goes into Ghost, and then you did a.
No.
I'm just
7. Oh, so you
6.
did it how it came out, right?
Yeah, this is how the box set came. And then there's now this one, Kills, is a see if I can get that in there. So this is a compilation.
Yeah.
Which is really fun.
Yes.
So it's got a little bit of everything in it. And then of course the newest, you got, the Camp Blood 8, so that kind of ends the box set. But if you purchase, like I did, this black screen is really, there you go, Children of Camp Blood, that nicely fits right into the last slot.
Right.
And now it's
let you know,
complete box set.
There's no children, but I want everyone to know there's no children in Children of Camp Blood. They're
adults. But it's kind of there, and this one I really like because it is now complete. So you were talking about Camp Blood 10, which is the animated film. So will
Yeah.
you start a whole new box set? Will there be a second one to this?
People are at, can't you just shove it in more? I mean, the box will be broken, but it'll fit in. No.
Yeah. Rubber band it.
People, I don't, he animated a lot more, and I don't know when that's going to be done. We were shooting for Christmas, but who knows? And people have asked me, they go, "Oh, you need to make another box set." So maybe I will, because I'm just letting people know that my plans with the Camp Bloods and the X-Men, once I get up the fifth X-Men movie, next year I'll be doing a crossover of Camp Blood versus Axe Grinder. So probably another box, because you might want to put the Axe Grinder Camp Blood in the new box, or whatever. We'll see. But
Right.
and there was, and I still let me see. Do you have your clown? Do you have your Camp Blood clown?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I was going to show that. So this is a thumb drive, actually. If you take the head off, you can see.
Right.
And now on the thumb drive it's a 4K version of Part 8.
Right. Some of them, it was optional. So some people have it and some people don't. But if they have the clown, they actually purchased the clown and they didn't get it, I could download the 4K to them. So, and they could just put it on there. And I bought that. I did it so the 4K, you could plug them in. Yeah, I don't know, like a lot of people, even people today don't got DVD players or Blu-rays. So like, well, I guess people buying the set probably have a Blu-ray player. But so I figure one day that like maybe these players are going to be harder to find, but USB is not going anywhere. So and like I said, some people got them, especially in the beginning, and then other people just got the clown. But if they want the 4K, just message me. And they got the clown. I'll send them the download. It's easy to put on there and stuff. So and other stuff. I'm always I try to give out bonuses, movies, and downloads. It depends on what I'm doing, how busy. If I got 10 orders, I'm like, oh, I got to get this all out and stuff like that. But I try to give bonus stuff, and I have a trailer reel that I give to a lot of people. It's just the luck of the draw, extra stuff. And like I said, how busy, what I have at home when I'm putting stuff together, so I like, and I like to give extra stuff when I can, So,
well, and you're very good at that. You're very good at that. So that was
perfect.
Yeah,
not perfect on the bonus, but I try, So
yeah, it's very nice of you.
But, most of all these people want the box with the movies, and I stepped up. I started my distribution business in 2014, and I tried to, as I did it, because there wasn't a lot of distributors I wanted to deal with anymore, and I decided that I'd rather just sell direct and get paid direct, so I don't have to go through a middleman. And because I make them at a low price, I won't say what I spend on them, but if you're spending if I'm spending X amount of dollars, I could do it myself. If I make a movie for, I'm just making numbers up, $100,000, there's a good chance you're going to have to go through a distributor to recoup that money. It just, because they do stuff that I couldn't. It's like, you want some guy that attends conventions around the world. Now that hopefully COVID is on its way down, which, praying to God it is.
Yeah.
And AFM or NAPI or CAN will open up, and there's other conventions. So, if you do a more expensive film, you have to give it to a distributor. So my thing is, not that I don't want to do more expensive films, but those I want to do under I'm a producer for hire, which means they go, Dave, we want you to make a movie. We'll own the movie. We'll sell it. We'll distribute it. we just want you to make it for, we want you to come up, get the hire everybody, get a writer, all that kind of stuff. Each movie's different, but and that's what I was known for the first, in the 2000s. We were, because of DVD, we were just cranking out movies left and right. And I didn't own a lot of them. I owned some of them, but not a lot of them. I'm sorry. And now looking back for you filmmakers, like me, if I own my whole library, I mean, I have a library now. It is somewhat valuable, but if I had all my movies that I ever made, it'd be a very valuable library too. Because there's a lot of fans that like these micro budget. It's not like not a billion people going to see Camp Blood, but I would say over the years, my movies have seen by millions of people, maybe in the tens of millions. Probably not in the hundreds of millions, but I would say, if someone, I would say over the years, maybe 20, 30 million people have seen my movies on TV, on streaming, DVDs, YouTube, wherever, trailers. I kind of count that a little. That's how I I'll never know the exact number. Nobody really knows. And like I said, it's not like a Top Gun movie or whatever. But I know, over the years, people, I get messages from people all the time. Oh, yeah, I've been watching your movies for a zillion. People all over the place, not just in the U.S., but all over. And sometimes people, like a lot of people, if they're somewhat into horror, they might have not seen a Camp Blood, but there's a lot of people that know what Camp Blood. Oh yeah, I kind of heard of that, So.
Well, yeah, and you always seem to want to give the best that you can. So I kind of just wanted to quickly show the covers for the Camp Blood ones, and then we'll move on to another one. So these are all Blu-ray, and the first one we got, this is Camp Blood, and it's Camp Blood 1 and 2, and that's 3D, which is kind of which is cool. Then
yeah.
And then we go into, now these are all new covers on these. These are all new art, and they're actually really nice art. I mean, there's Camp Blood 3, brand new art.
Actually, the art guy contacted me, and he works for other people, and but he really likes my stuff and how I think, and so we have a good working relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it's on all the boxes. You could tell. I mean, Camp Blood 4 looking good. I mean, then you got Camp Blood 5 that looks good. 666. If you have a 6 movie, you always got to call it 666. And then you got Camp Blood. Now, this is something I wanted to show. So here's the new cover, but I also have this one.
Right.
So, obviously, this is the nicer cover. This was great when it first came out. Can people get this anymore, or are these now more of a collector's edition?
Kanaki. It's on my Facebook. I have on where you can buy stuff, and you can always message me. But you could get the old Camp Bloods with that artwork too, and either one.
Okay. So
they seem to like the newer stuff, but
Yeah, then we got
that's how it is.
Ghost. Ghost looks good. Now this is the older art. This is the same art as the one that came out. I actually really love this poster. I think it looks great.
I just thought at that time, because that was close to when I had the box set come out. I didn't want to. That artwork wasn't that old, so.
Yeah, it looks good. And then Camp Blood Kills, which looks good.
Right.
These all look really great. And then Camp Blood 8. And then, of course, which is not in the box set, but it fits in the box set, Children of Camp Blood, which I really dig. This clown mask is really, it looks almost like it's like Play-Doh, like it's clay. It's very interesting looking.
Joe, actually, I'm giving the art to, Joe Sherlock did that artwork for me.
And that's why it looks good.
I love the little clowns, and I love that cover because it looks so animated,
and just
And,
everything. Well, and you get some special features on some of these too.
well, if you like trailers, there's all kinds of trailers. There's some commentaries, there's slideshows. Just it depends. It depends on the movie. I'm trying with the newer movies. I'm trying to get more extras because that's what seems people really like. So I'm trying to like on the things you get like things, and you get the things rough cuts, which just they go, hey, this is what the movie kind of looks assembled. And I actually took some raw footage from the actual the original tapes, and so they could just see what it was like when we were making them, like action cut, laughing, Some of it's the shower scene, so guys should like that. So like I'm trying to do some more of that, more things two or thing. I take that back, not things two, things with the Z.
TOO.
Sherlock has a really nice. No, but that's off. It's just THINZ.
Oh, just the Z, no TOO. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that.
There's no TO. I think there's no TO. I got rid of it. I was thinking about it. I'm like, that's not a good idea. So I didn't want people to get confused with the things too. So I just took it off. So anyways, but Joe does a really good behind the scenes on his, and I think his behind the scenes is kind of wild. And he did a behind the scenes just a movie on all the behind the scenes of his movies. And I know he sells it, but I do carry it on my Vimeo. So, you get that from him or you get it from me as like a download, or he probably has DVDs made up for that. But if you want to download it or just, stream it, I have it on my site too. So, we work together. I think like, Joe concentrates, on his movies, but I think he likes working with me because I'm in the marketing stuff. Like, if you never bought anything from me, I send out an email, like a newsletter, a couple times a week. So if you want to message me, give me your email, and you can be on the newsletter. Which I have specials and deals and what's coming out. It's kind of like I'm going to announce this on your show right now. I don't know if you knew about this, but there'll be a Camp Blood, a 2 Blu-ray set with all the Camp Blood movies. But the people don't want the box sets, but they just want the movies.
Sure.
So that should be, I'll probably do the pre-sale this week. And that way, because like some people like, oh, I really want that box set, but for whatever reason, they don't buy it. So, but they want all the movies in one place. So I'm giving them an alternative. I think I really like it. So.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So that's so then the next box set.
We'll see how that goes. You always got. Yeah. You always got. Go on.
Oh, I was going to move into the Axe Grinder box set, actually.
Can you fit in there? Can you actually physically fit in there?
I think it could be made as a hat. But this one, I
got no movies.
I got them. I got your back. That's the front. The top, it's got a great picture on it there. Got the side. The back is pretty cool. That's the guy from part 2.
I like that.
And then we got that there. And and then when we open it, oh, look who signed it for me. There we go. We got some David Sterling signing there.
I didn't sign a Camp Blood one.
Some of them are signed and some aren't. So maybe when we meet up again, I'll bring them.
John, I'll have to sign them when I see them.
I do like my stuff signed.
I usually sign them all. I'll have to fire the person in quality control.
There, fire that person. Yes, fire them. So now this is Axe Grinder. And as it says here, first time on Blu-ray. But what makes this special is this is the uncut version, right?
There's two versions on that film. There's the original one, and then there's the uncut one. I think you have to look in the extras. You have to look in the extras for the uncut.
Yeah, so it's there, and these whole things are done nicely. I mean, the backs are nice. I didn't show the ones from Capablanca's. There's a lot of them, but I mean, the insides look good.
Yeah, I mean, you want to give people collect these and they like them, and then you want to give them a reason to buy them because it's not only in the movie, but people just like collecting these, having them in, people collect all kinds of stuff like menus at restaurants or concert tickets or whatever. So it's not only about the movie, but it's the artwork and the collectability, and it's like, wow, that looks cool in my room, or I'm gonna put that on my shelf because that looks neat, or I'm into this micro budget stuff and I want to really show how I'm into it,
Right, and the boxes they're because of how they're made with a very thick cardboard. They easily fit on your shelf.
I make them in my basement. Hold on. Hey, get back to work. Keep making those boxes, okay? You won't eat for a day or two.
Well, I mean, if that's how they have to be made, that's how they have to be made. I mean, there are priorities.
Because in California, we don't have basements, but I had to dig a basement so somebody can make them.
Got to do what you got to do, man. And then we got
exactly.
Then there's part 2. Trying to get a good, I think, on my chest here. So that looks really good too. We got the good back.
Thank you, and Dustin for working on it.
Well, you are welcome. I'm glad to work on it. So it's my first time officially working for you. So that was nice. And they all look good, and they all got trailers, and there's a bunch. There's good stuff on this, and some of them have audio commentary. So it's that's, and like you said, there's going to be an Axe Grinder 3, but you're also going to do 4 and 5. So that will just fill the box up.
And we'll put 3 out as quickly as I can. Then we'll do 4 and 5, and hopefully we'll get that. Like I said, it's like we have like 4 weeks to put it together. So it has to be done before a certain date in August because I got something else going on. So hopefully we'll make that all happen. It'll be exciting. I've not personally been on the set because I know I'm moving around a lot, but I haven't personally been on the set since December 2019 because of COVID. I decided that I just didn't want to. I mean, and I had we had a few movies getting made, but that's where I'm buying films from people. I personally don't want to be responsible for people's health. I thought COVID I was afraid myself, to be honest. I didn't want to get it, and I didn't want other people to get it. So I'm like, I figured, okay. I was offered a big movie that I turned down, and I'm kind of glad I did. Because, if one person would have got sick or I would have got sick, it wouldn't be worth it. I've made plenty of movies, and I want to be comfortable. It's like these people are making movies, and everybody. It's America; they can do what they want. I just felt in my situation, I did pretty good. I concentrated on the box sets last year. We were selling all year long, so that was pretty good. And by the way, the last film I worked on was with Donna D'Errico for Baywatch. And
nice.
Going to be coming out. Escape from Area 51. I think it's coming out in August. I think she just did a movie in Puerto Rico with Bruce Willis, I think. And Donna D'Errico was on Baywatch. And I didn't know it was a director. She was really nice to work with. She was very pleasant. She was easy to work with. And yeah, the only thing about I said about that set we shot in December, and I live in California. We shot 6 days in a row, which I usually don't shoot. I usually break it up. Every freaking day it was cold, whether I was in the studio, I was in the green room, wherever. I would go to my car to be warm. I mean, to be honest, when I'm on the set, they don't want me saying anything unless, oh, Dave, we. Have a problem, come here. So I just go in my car and I'll, take a nap or what until they need me or, whatever, and I'll turn on the heat. But it was like freaking cold. I'm glad we shot it then. If we didn't shoot it then, we couldn't have shot in 2020. And like I said, I know people are shooting, but like I said, I just, I had other stuff to do. And I want to get back to me making a lot of movies where I am on the set and stuff like that. But I'm going to do things different. I want to, and I'm working with other, directors. And I'm kind of slimming down the directors, and I like working with Dave Mary, and I'm working with Joe Sherlock, and just a couple other people. And it's really like, because like what I do is I have a niche in a brand, and they have to, I want that brand to like be a certain type of film. And we talked about this on my show. Even though I've got all these movies, there's some thing with different directors, cast, and crew, but I like to think there's a Sterling Entertainment thing running through all this stuff. I want to make commercial horror films on a budget. I want to run a business. And all this kind of stuff. And and I have a formula for making these films, and they're not the greatest films. They're just kind of fun. They're just fun, simple films. You want a horror. They're not long films. Camp Bloods are like 70 to 80 minutes long. So you don't have to put a lot of time in. And it's just kind of fun. And I think that's what, and basically that's what films are about. I mean, of course, you're going to have films like Schindler's List and stuff like that. They got messages and stuff. But films in general, especially like in the beginning of filmmaking, was just to give people a little entertainment. They didn't have TV, radio was coming in. So people would go to movies like 2 or 3 times. My parents we used to go like, my mom and dad, they go, oh, we used to go like 2 or 3 times a week, And I think the theatrical experience now, a lot of people don't like it anymore, and for a long time. And now that you have big screens and you got, and you have, you could like, it's so expensive to go see a movie that's probably not even that good. So, people are like, just watch it at home, and then I don't got to worry about sitting next to somebody who's coughing or a wheelchair or a telephone or whatever. I think like theatrical is still important to big films. Like I want to see Top Gun in the IMAX, I want to see that film. But I don't think like Camp Blood, I don't think people are going to rush out to, 80-foot screen to see Camp. But they might, you never know,
No, but they will watch it on a 60-inch screen at home.
Or, or 80-inch or a telephone, phone. I watch movies on phone, on my computer, on the TV, and it's funny, like my father's like, a different generation. My dad's like, why would people watch movies on the phone? It's like, well, it's not that they have to. It's like it could be convenient. Like, oh, they just feel like laying down on the couch and just watching it, keep it simple. Or they're on the bus, they're eating lunch, they're taking a walk, they're sitting in the park, whatever. It's just convenient. It's not, you don't have to. I like watching sometimes stuff on the phone. But then again, I like watching on a big screen also, just depending what I'm doing,
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I agree. So, I just I got one of these guys too. So I just wanted to show people that.
Oh, good.
And they're.
I just want to let people know. Oh yeah, that's Jet. That's like Jed Rowan's been in like 15 of my movies. We've been friends for a long time. And he's been in some of my, he was in like Witches Sabbath and Axe Grinder, of course. Just like different stuff that we did. And Creepies, and he's in the Creepies movies. So like, and I think Jed is like kind of like what maybe you don't like this, but he's an actor, but I placed him in these. I used to call these people like micro budget superstars. Some of these people like Phoebe Dollar or just certain people that I would use over and over. I'm still working. I'm going to do something with Phoebe. Phoebe's in the Occultist too, and she's in Camp Blood 8. And I think she'll be in the animated film. And I really like, Hell's Highway and Death Factory. I really like Phoebe. And I think Phoebe's really, really culty kind of person because she didn't do any film she could. And she was very selective in what she did. And she had other stuff going on. And I think when like Hell's Highway, I don't own that film. I love that film. A lot of people do. And I think people like her character in that film. And I think, versus like everybody, I get into it. Every girl is a scream queen. But, it's like, to me, there's only like certain ones. And just because you're in a lot of movies, don't make you a scream queen. I think it's the movies you're in, the movies that kind of enjoyable and they stick with you and they have fans not only to the the base but to the both the movie and the person, like if you meet Linnea Quigley, which I work with, or Michelle Bauer, or work with Tiffany Shepis on Death Factory, or Felissa Rose on this is a Christmas film. Hold on, I have it. I have this banner behind me. It's Deadly Little Christmas. Deadly,
Yes.
So I'm lucky I got to work with all these screen queens, and it's like, and I don't think you really seen. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there now, but there's not 50 of them. There's a couple, and I think what really makes you a screen queen, you got to be on TV on some stuff, and and if you could be in a theatrical hit, that really bona fides your screen, even if it's one movie. Like Felissa Rose is in Sleepaway Camp, and that was in theatrical, So, anyways, but I love everybody. I think everyone's a great actor. I think you're a great actor.
Well, thank you, and you're a great producer. So, all right.
Great's not even the word. Great's not even the word.
What? Say that again.
Great's not even the word.
Yeah. All right. So we got now. So now we're on the, and you talked about this things, the things box set.
People call me that. Okay, I'll be quiet. Things, yes. That's Things is a great set. I really like this set. It's really a nice box.
Yeah, it's got, and I like the top. Cool. The top's cool. I like that. Creatures created by the evil of men. And all of these just have such great art on them. This one, of course, has. So we start with the original. See what great art on all these things.
Really nice, yeah. Yes, thank you. I have these coloring book that I did them with.
Yeah, you didn't even go out of the lines. I mean, you stayed right in there, so that was pretty good. And then
pretty shaky.
And then Things 3. And if you want to discuss what happened with Things 2, you can. If not, we'll just go right on.
I did Things 2 with some other people, and they had the rights tied up, so I couldn't get it. So, but that's okay. I think the Five Things movies, I think, is a lot of good entertainment.
Oh yeah. And then you got Things 4.
Yes, Dennis Devine, the original Things guy.
And then
Did that
Things
one.
Things 5. Now this is
Good
the
job.
original artwork for Things 5.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then
Kind of thought it matched.
so this is the one that I was going to ask you about it, and you brought it up. So Joe, this is the newest one. So Joe Sherlock's Things, but inside it is Joe Sherlock's Things. Was my finger 2?
Is it
That's what
really two? It's really, is it really two? Isn't it really T and two astronaut skulls?
I don't
Look
know.
at it.
Even the movie says that. So that's why I was wondering, like,
Oh,
oh no.
I was, well, maybe it was just, it's, you know what? It's just
Typo.
something that, it's like something that people could discuss. It's like, is that things too, is that thing, it's just like something that they could talk about, it doesn't matter either way. It's,
Okay.
and I think both of Joe's, I think I like all of them. I think I like 5. I think I like 5 a little better, but I like that one too. And I love, Joe Sherlock is, and I've said this many times. You and him were my big guest on my Facebook show, and I really like talking to Joe. Joe has a really, I know when I work with the directors who has the better working knowledge of why films work, and he really, I would say the king of that is Jeff Leroy. To be honest, he really knows film theory. But I think Joe is very clever on his stuff. He's is funny, puts humor and stuff. I like the women that he hires. It's unique, very unique. They're unique films, and he's finishing up the Axe Grinder. Things 666 should come out later this year, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. I'm doing his box set. We're in the middle of working on the Joe Sherlock box set, and I just saw the first sketch of the first movie, and it's going to be good. I think people are really, Joey has a big fan base. He really does. And I know you know Joe, and
Yes.
I think I think a lot of people really like him. They don't like me. They don't like me, but they like him.
People love you. You know that. People love you. Just from a distance. From a distance. But yeah, Joe is very talented.
Like a Zoom camera.
Camera. It just
a Zoom camera.
But it's Joe's very talented. He actually draws my Aximus posters for me. So I normally do the photograph poster, and then he does the drawing. And he's part of my cosmic horror anthology. He's going to be doing a short film in that, which will hopefully come out by the end of the year. So I enjoy his stuff quite a bit, and so I'm excited to see Axe Grinder and the new things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing. I'm trying to do more stuff with Joe. We have things in the works, and like every year we're trying to do. If I could, I'd have him make a movie a month for me if I could. But it's very hard to make a movie in a month. I know some people can, but it never works out exactly like you want it to be, like.
Well, it is quality over quantity, I think. But for some people, that's quantity over quality.
Well, it's like in micro budget. It's like it is. If you could make a lot of films, even I'm not going to say if they're good or bad, but that's what a lot of micro people like. They like, wow, this guy's just kicking out films. It's like. That's cool. That's, and even me, I mean, I could talk, I won't say anyone's name, but like even going back 10 years ago, there was a guy that I used to work with, and he used to kick out a lot of films a lot. And these people get these buzzes around them because they're kicking out all this stuff. I'm not making as many right now. Even before COVID, I was trying to make more movies. It's just you know, it's just I have a way of when I make them, or if I have producers out of state making them, they have their own schedule and stuff like that. So it's like, but I'm trying to figure out how to do them like one or two movies every couple months. Me personally, because I feel the movies that I make when I'm on the set. I like those the best. They seem to come out the best. People could disagree with me, but like I was only on the set for things one. I was on the set for things two, things three. I was on the set for four. Or Joe Sherlock moved to whatever, and and as the series kind of builds, usually the first couple films are the best. Like because they're original, and then the sequels aren't the original anymore. I'm not gonna say they're copies, but they don't have the originality of the first, like RoboCop. I like even RoboCop 3, but I think RoboCop 1 is way better than 2, and 2 is way better than 3.
Sure.
And they're all kind of like interesting films to watch. I mean, they're bloody, they're silly, they're scary, they're all this kind of stuff. Die Hard 1 is probably better than Die Hard 5.
Well,
Fast and Furious 1.
I mean, sometimes you got to think out of the box to keep stuff original. I mean, I'm still waiting for Jason in the snow. So I can live without seeing Camp Crystal Lake in the summer again. I would like to see him in the snow. We've already seen him in outer space. Let's see him in the snow. And at times you have to think a little out of the box.
I'm not like people think. I'm in the film business, but I'm not in that business. But I really was hoping that like a lot of these remakes, just do them like they did in the 80s. Spend $1 million and go make a movie and blah blah blah. But when they're making they're not. When they did like Friday the 13th, that's probably a $10 million movie. But it's like $10 million. It's a lot of money still. And you got multiple producers on it. It's like, I feel like a good B movie or a good A, like a Friday 13th, you have a director and you have one producer kind of overseeing. I feel like a lot of these films today that people go out and make on them, like me personally, I work for people, so I had to answer to somebody. So when you go out and you're always making a movie, but you never answer to anybody, then it's like they see stuff that the director doesn't see, or they want stuff that's like, well, if you do this stuff, it will help. It's still the director's vision. It's almost like a band. It's really good if you have a good band and they have a good producer that can not tell the group what to do, but kind of mold it a little, or just like when I did Axe Grinder 2, or when I'm doing, I'll say, look, I want, or other people, even like Axe Grinder 4, I'll tell Dennis Devine's directing, right? I go, look, I don't want any scene longer than 5 minutes unless there's nudity or there's a kill. And then, we have plenty of footage for flashback, but I think you have to limit the flashbacks to about 4 or 5 minutes, so it's not a retread. Sometimes these movies are short, so you have to pad them or throw them. You got to do what you got to do. So I don't want to, and anyone who's ever worked with me on a film, I've never gave anyone a million notes. I don't know how close you were on the editing and what I told Dustin, but I didn't give Dustin a bunch of notes. I gave him some general things that I wanted, because I'm not, first of all, these movies are inexpensive. So I don't want to drive the editor or director crazy. with what they have to do. I want it's like, hey, here's the money. I'm trusting you to go out and make this movie. And we agreed on the story, we agreed on the script. You know, not every cast member I know, but like, okay, who's your cast member? I want so much of this and this. Go make the movie. Then they send me a cut, and I go, well, I want these different on the credits. And I go, I told you about the flashbacks, but if you do this, you could add a little more flashbacks. Just because you gotta like it's a give and take, But I don't want to send the editor 50 pages of notes because I'm not paying them where they're getting to, and like if I'm hiring a guy, I know their work, I know they can do stuff. So I just want to, like I said, I give them general, unless I really see something that's like, oh, that's, I really hate that. Like when we did Curse of Lizzie Borden, the first, which I really liked that movie. The first cut was like 92 minutes. So Curse of Lizzie Borden was like 92 minutes, which I don't want these movies to be 90 minutes and on a low budget. It's too long. 82, I think, is perfect. I like that number. People go, why that number? I go, I don't know. I just like it. So, that movie, and I told Mark, I said, Mark Polonia edited that film. I just gave him a few notes. I go, can you trim this movie down? And there was one scene in it, I can't remember, but it was like almost exactly the scene before it said the same thing. I'm like, just get rid of that scene. And that movie did really good. At the time, we sold a lot of those DVDs to Netflix. And that movie did really, really well, right out of the box, real quick. Right? I think I put that movie together really quick. I think I only worked 2 months on that movie. And when I gave it to Mark, I go, I need this movie in like 30 days cut. And he did it, So, and then it came out, it came out nice. And then we did the second one, which I like, but I don't like as much as the first. I forgot who cut that film. I know who cut. If I said his name, you wouldn't know him. But a guy locally cut that film for me. So I still like it. Then we did a third Lizzie Borden, but it's not related. Revenge of Lizzie Borden, whatever. And I guess some people like it, and some. I'm kind of mixed on that.
I do. I like all three.
Frank Stevens is in it. Mindy Robbins is in it. Marlene Cohn, who's Marlene's a dear friend of mine, and I like having her in my movies. She's in a lot of my films, and I work for her. She directed a space film, Intergalactus. I think it's playing on IMDb or somewhere, and she hired me to help her produce that film. But she was the director. She did a good job, and she was in Subway. She's a lot of my movies. Alice in Wonderland, which I don't know. Like I like that film pretty much. It's Dennis Devine movie, and like I know that movie. I think it played theatrically in India, and I know a lot of the actresses got like a lot of fan mail from people on that movie. So I know we're supposed to be talking about box sets, but
I got the next one right next to me.
And just to finish the Lizzie, me and John have talked about doing I better not say the title because somebody will be.
No, because I don't want anybody to take it. But I'm very, very interested in doing this. So I think it'd be very interesting to do in Vegas.
I think we both had that title in our minds when we talked about it. Like it wasn't like you know what I mean? You thought about it, and I came up. We both came up with the same idea. So
we were throwing a bunch of because we were throwing like different things around, and then I think like both of us at the same time said the same title. So it was like that's it. That's it. So so hopefully.
Too casual? Am I being too casual?
You look
casual, laying back.
You look very much like a dude, just hanging, just being casual, being yourself. So, but now, okay.
my video for a while. Can you see the banner okay?
Oh yeah, there it is. Yep, right behind you, right there. So now our next box set, and I know this is personal to you, so is the
Yes,
Occultist
yes.
box set. And
Right,
here's the front,
yes.
there's the top, and we got this here. And recently, I just watched part 2. I haven't seen part 2, and of course, David was nice
Yeah.
enough to sign that for me. It's got the little thing on the lip, which is nice. And he included in this one a trailer, a DVD of trailers, which was nice. And
I think you probably have that. You have that already, don't you? John, I've been, me and John have been friends. John has this great collection of movies. He really does.
thank you. Well, you do too. A lot of them are in a storage. So, but you have a lot of stuff too.
They're coming back home next weekend. Actually, they'll be in my office. So I won't watch them. I'll just look at them.
More decoration. So this is the first film. This is The Occultist, and it's got this great
right.
And the back.
2008. Sean Phillips is in that one.
There we go.
Now,
but now the second one, this is pretty brand new, and I've not seen it before.
Yeah.
The cool thing with this is that it does have the same actor from the first film, which is great, and it has an alternate cut of the movie. So it has a first cut, which is, I think, like roughly 3 to 4 minutes shorter. So I watched both, and I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this quite a bit. So, and you were personal friends with the actor, the lead actor. And so what would you like to say about Occultist?
A couple of things. I've been friends with the lead actor. I'm going to say his name wrong. I call him Dami. I'm not going to say his last name. Most people know who he is. Dami Agella. I'm saying his name wrong. I always have. So I just call him Dami. And we were good friends. We worked on Virus X together, which was a Lionsgate film. And we worked on other stuff. And we've been friends for a long time. And last summer, we're just about to put the set out, and I got a message from a friend. They're like, what happened to Dami? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, Dami passed away. And I just thought, for about a day, I wasn't sure. You never know if, there wasn't nothing backing up, but he did pass away. And I had everything working, and we're going to put it out. And I almost didn't put out the movie right then. And then I talked to a couple of people, and I go, what do you think Dami would want? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he would want me to put it. He's pretty good in it. Pretty good in both movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'd want me to put it out. So I put it out. So maybe I should have waited a little. It's hard to say. I wanted, I did, it was just, last year was such a weird year, to be honest. And it was very sad with Dami. And I was just I just got caught up with stuff. And now looking back, I go, oh, maybe I should have waited, but, and like, we want to do Occultist 3 and 4, but I'm not going to do that for at least another year. Because I want to pay my respects to Dami. And like I said, we did Virus X, Sybil Banion's in that film. And we did that. That was the first movie I ever shot on a red. And in fact, when we shot Virus X, we had a studio, a location rented for 2 months. And I'm doing The Occultist. And I was going to do The Occultist before Virus X. And he goes, look, why don't you just take one or two of these rooms, and you could use the studio, and you could shoot the movie. And I made him the star. And also Sean Phillips is in both the movies. Back when Sean was lived in Maryland, I'm not going to give anything away, but he's at the very end of the movie. And Sean Sean comes in as a different role in this one. So I really like both movies, and I don't know. I talked to a lot of people. They like the movies. They think I think they said it was okay. I put it out, and I didn't want to like. I really like Downey, and like I said, everything was so weird last year, so it was hard to like. For a while, there was other bad things that happened with other people I knew. And I just kind of going with it, and it just kind of caught up to me after a while. It was like, and I think a lot of people have the same experience that I had, where they just dealing with stuff, and after a while, it just got a little too heavy,
Right.
so to speak. If that makes any sense.
No, it does, and it's definitely a difficult decision on to release the movie or not, because are you trying to gain off of his name, or are you putting it out because you think that he would want to put it out? And I'm glad you did. So
I talked to a couple of distributors. They go, I could just cut it out, and but like and maybe I did the right thing, or I don't know. Like I said, I want to do two more for the box because I think he probably wanted, but I want to give him respect, and I want to take my time on that one. So that's maybe next year. We'll see. We'll see if it falls into the cards. But I know people like those movies. And I went and like the thing about the first one, we shot that in 3.5 days. So I really like the way that movie turned out. And like when I'm working with people, and I want movies done quick, and they're like, they've done cheaper movies. I'm like, look, we did this in 3.5 days. Can you do something like that? Because I have really specific things that I want, because if it's my money or somebody else's money, I gotta watch the money either way. I can't go over by, but I can spend whatever I want, but I only want to spend so much. And then if I'm working for somebody, if I go over budget because of me, I have to like lay that out. If I'm working on a movie and they go, hey, we want we want this extra stuff, then they have to pay for it. So it's like, so like, if somebody gives you money, you don't want to be working for free. I mean, we're already working for like 50 cents an hour or whatever.
if
So,
that.
so whatever. Say it again.
I
Say
said,
it
or
again.
or less than that.
Exactly. Well, people do this. People do. Everybody does it for different reasons. I run a business. I make money doing it. It's not a ton of money, but it's being what I do. I get to go for long lunches, and I get to go on vacation when I want, when I can afford it. So that's my perks. Long lunches, and there's my cat, and long lunches, and a vacation every now and then. You know, but I got. Oh, sorry, cat. But I got cool box sets. I mean,
You do.
that's
You do have those, and we have
like,
one more. So that way you got 5 right now. So the next one this is one of my favorite series by you. I like all of these. Which is the Empire of the Apes collection, and it's got all the pictures. Got a picture of the ape there. You got yours too, and then we got the side. Now I'm not going to show the back immediately because I have a slight question with the back. So, and then now I'm going to show the back. So on here, I noticed, because at first I thought, oh, David was sending me 2 movies. But then I realized on the back, no. So you have all the Apes movies plus Yeti Experiment and Robo War. So, and then there's your signature right there. So that was nice. And I listened to a little bit of the audio commentary on Invasion, and Mark had mentioned, Mark Lona had mentioned that there are apes in RoboWar, and I think the gorilla head that they kind of worship, that mask, is the Yeti mask. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like Robo War actually. I like this series, and I like each movie for different reasons. Maybe Yeti's probably the least of my favorite. I love Robo Wars, and I like. I went like we shot. People don't know this. We shot Guerrilla Warfare. We shot those in 3D, and we shot Empire of the Apes in 3D. And there might be some. And actually, Empire of the Apes was released overseas in 3D. And there might be some 3D ape news for the US, but I'm not really saying anything yet. So, anyways, um, I like Robo War because we threw it in, and what I wanted because we had I wasn't sure that I was going to able to get the Guerrilla Warfare, which we shot in 2001, which a very young. If I say I'm probably going to say his name wrong. Jeff Dylan Graham's in it, very young, still very. It bothers me, still very young. So, and that was a long time ago. So, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to release this film, but I did get the rights to put it in the box set. So, that's why I added like, okay, if I don't get that, I'm going to add the Yeti and the Robo. So then it'll be a nice sci-fi pack. It's Mark Polonia did all the films, but with the 6 movies, I think it's a great set because if you like sci-fi, I know it's cheap sci-fi, but there's not that many. Like I know there's 8 movies out there, but there's not that many 8 movies out there, and especially a series. I don't even know where I got the idea to make an 8 movie. I don't know. I don't even know where I got the idea to make it.
Just came to you one day. Just came to you. You woke up and went, apes.
Apes, yes, yeah, apes. And but I came up with the one tagline on one of the movies, like "dirty smelling humans," and I like that. I like that. And actually, people don't know. A lot of people know. Joe Castro came up with the first mass in 2001.
Oh, okay.
Before we did Demonicus, I first met Joe then. We worked on Full Moon's Demonicus, and I did a movie for another distributor called Demon's Kiss. He worked on both those films, and we worked on. He did a mummy movie for me, and Joe's a interesting person. He's a great effects guy. He's directed a lot of movies. A very creative guy, and so is his partner. His partner's award-winning Emmy. I think he's an Emmy editor. For different stuff.
Yeah, Steven. Steven Escobar.
Yeah, so these guys are really creative guys. So let's see. And we didn't work together for a long time, but then he worked on, I think he did a Compass 2, Joe did, and
oh, that's right. Yeah, he did do the effects. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the other movie he did for me? Oh, Lucinda. What's that movie? The Ghost Woman. Lucinda.
La Lorena
Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt. The Curse of Lorena Bobbitt. But yes, I know what film you're speaking of. I have it right over there. So yeah.
So I like that. I actually like that film. Dennis is a good guy. Dennis Devine, I worked with for a long time. He's a good go-do guy. And I tell you, what Dennis is really good. If you want a lot of cute girls in your movie, hire Dennis. He's really good at picking cute girls. So the Alice in Murderland, Don't Look in the Cellar, Sawblade. I mean, it's just like the list goes on and on. So, if you're doing a sorority movie or something like that. So I like working with Dennis, and you know, like I work with a bunch of directors, but it's very narrow too. You know, it's like you know, when you do too many movies with somebody, you know, things get kind of, you know, people get tired of each other sometimes.
Sure.
It's like it's where, like, you know, I can see why bands don't stick together that long. You know, after 5 years hanging out with the same numbskulls, you know, it's like, ugh, I've had it. I've had it with these
Right.
guys, you know. Like, you know, with the Ramones, you know, like a couple of them didn't talk to each other for like 3 years. You know, they would just do.
Oh yeah, Johnny
you know,
and
I think
Joey
somebody
didn't
stole
talk for like 10 years. Yeah.
and they're in a band together, and they're like, well, you know, we got to make money and stuff, you know. It's like, but that, to me, that's like, I don't know if that's worth it. You know, they go to work with somebody totally, even though it's your livelihood. It's like, you got to enjoy your life too, right?
Right.
Some of
Yeah,
the time,
that's true.
you know.
True. So,
You know, so
well,
don't steal other people's girlfriends.
no, don't do that. But I'm going to show.
Don't do that.
Pardon me. So with the Blu-rays that are in the box set, once again, this is one of those, that one you were just talking about, Guerrilla Warfare, first time on
Right.
Blu-ray, and
Yes.
and you, like I've said, you've always tried to do quality. You've always tried to do the best. Like before the box sets, you released like the Apes films, the Witchcraft films, all that stuff on like VHS, DVD, and they all kind of matched so you could keep them all together. Right. So you're always just trying to do better, which I really appreciate. So,
well,
and then,
like, you know, like I said, people, I'm gonna go on a diet. People want to like, oh, you're with these like other micro budget guys. You're in that. I'm like, no, I'm my own guy. I run my business different. Maybe I don't make the most money. I don't make the least money, but I'm not in the film business. I'm in the business of films. And, you know, we all got egos. I got one too, but I'm not a director. I could direct everything. I could act in all my movies. I don't. I'm either busy or lazy, you know. And I just want to find people that could do stuff better than I can, and make whatever amount, make it commercial, make it entertaining, make it fun, you know. And that's what these movies are. We're not, you know, I never made a movie and I had a message in it, because I'm not about that. I mean, you know, I worked on a documentary. I worked on Hollywood Rocks for Cleopatra Records. And there's a documentary that's been shot on Sterling Entertainment that still made, it was shot a couple years ago, but we shot like 50 interviews and conventions and on the set, and it still might get put together. We probably have to shoot more footage. But like, and I didn't want to make that documentary about me. I wanted to make it about Sterling Entertainment, what that meant to work on these films and the people that work on it and how they do it. And you know, a lot of these people are just starting out. It's not their full-time thing. Some of it is because, to be honest, show business, which I'm in show business. And I call myself a Hollywood insider outsider. And it's very difficult to make money doing this, but I knew that I had to make money doing this if I wanted to do it. I came from, my dad was a since I've been 7, my dad worked for a corporation, and I have a degree. I go, you know, if I didn't learn from my dad, who was very good in business, and with my degree, and I go in something and make no money doing it, why, you know, it's like, I'm not saying I'm doing it just for the money, but money, when you get money from people, that's saying you're doing the right thing. You know, it's like, hey, we like what you're doing, so we're willing to give you some money to go out and make more of this stuff. Well, we trust you. You know how to handle the money. You know, I know a little about movie making. I mean, after so many movies, like I said, like, I'm not like Jeff Leroy. That guy's really clever. I just watched Psychon Invaders. I just watched Rat Scratch Fever. These are like in these like under 100,000, let's say. These things are masterpieces. Okay, the way he puts stuff together. And the cool about a lot of these films is I used to do miniature work with him. So a lot of the miniature stuff shows up in these films. So I get credit on these films that I haven't even worked on. Because I remember Christmas 2000, we're out in the desert shooting shooting a rocket sequence, miniatures and stuff. And Creepies, I learned all about miniatures and stuff like that. So I work with like a lot of great people. Like right now, me and Jeff aren't working together, and that's cool. That's just the way it is, you know. It's like people want to do their own thing. They want to, they want to, be their own person, and that's cool. He's doing the giant women movies, which I've been on those sets for Michael Budget, and I've been on a lot of sets. Those sets were incredible, and the way he did it, and the way he thought. I mean, so a lot of these guys, they each one, even the different people, they have their ways of doing stuff. There's directors that I like and directors that I don't think so great, but I could say, well, this director, he does this really good that I can't do. Everybody has their own skill. Like I'm not the greatest. I'm just the guy that I didn't want to work at McDonald's. I didn't want a 9-to-5 job. I wanted to go in entertainment. I didn't know how difficult it was going to be, and maybe I wouldn't have gone into it because it's very different. It's like just not even that. I mean, because I've done some music stuff, and I've done some TV stuff, and it's just you're in the gig business. It's whatever job you get, you just got to do that, and then you got to get another gig, another job, another project, another film. Even though I have my distribution company, it's all week to week. I don't know what I'm gonna make this week. I got some deals pending, but it doesn't mean it's gonna go through. I know they're supposed to be selling a ton of my box sets, but I've been, over the past couple of years, I've been really thinking about it, and I don't want to tell people not to go in this business, but you got to really, it's hard when you're 18 to know what this business is. And it's very hard now. It was hard back then. In some ways, it's easier to get your stuff out there, but it's like everybody's doing it. So you got to figure out what you got. And I always knew this even before the internet. What's your niche? What you're good at? How are you going to brand? How are you going to stand out by everybody else making? There's a million clown movies. I'm not the only one. It's not the first clown movie. Terror on Tour, 1980, The Clown. You know that movie?
I know that one. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that would be a cool Camp Blood movie where it's like you have a band in it called The Clowns. I think that would be awesome. So, but I'm not. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of ideas, but there's other movies that I want to make besides Camp Blood and stuff like that. And people call you up with other opportunities for other things. Most people don't know. If buy my box sets, you get them to me because I don't do Indiegogo and stuff like that. And if you like what I'm doing, or go to my Kanaki store, go to my Vimo store, and everything helps. I'm not going to say, give me $1 and that. I don't want that. I want you to get something you like, a movie you enjoy, whether you like box sets, or maybe you're a downloader, or maybe you like streaming, or maybe you're just buying single DVDs. Get something you like. But if you like these films, you're helping me when I need money to make this stuff, but I want you to do it because I want people to give me money because they like the films, not because they like me. Maybe because they like me. I don't know.
Well, but like I said, you bring out good stuff. So I mean, it's nice to have this finally, on Blu-ray. I mean, that's a great thing to have finally. And so to kind of, well, here's your quote. Dirty Rotten Humans is on this one here, Empire of the Apes. So that's there.
I went to college. I thought of that one.
Yep.
I thought of that one.
That's a degree right there. And then on this
I
one,
love that cover.
that's a really
That
good
cover
one.
was good.
And then you also got the original Blu-ray. But look, even the older stuff,
Right.
man, that's good. That's good quality there. That's good stuff. You just
got a
move.
poster there.
You just move up. You know, it just gets better.
You got a poster of that. You got a poster of that, don't you, John? The Empire.
I do. I think I have posters for all of them. Well, and VHS. So I have VHS, DVD, and poster for these. Yeah. So yeah, because you're doing posters too.
You know, I love VHS, and I would get more into VHS. It's just it's a lot of work, and the demand's not there. It's just like the demand,
Right.
you know, the demand's not there. I'd love to make a huge box set of VHSs, you know, a real, like a super box set. I might do it, but it just has to be the right time. I like this new art for all these 8 movies.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, this one is jam-packed with stuff. Revolt.
Well, I went to the art guy and I said, let's do it kind of in the vein of the Mad Max Italian ripoff movies. Like, the movies with like, the New, the ones from the early 80s. I go, let's try to have that kind of look, you know.
Yeah, stuff like Warriors of the Wasteland and Exterminators from the year 3000, Striker, all those type of stuffs. Yeah,
with my buddy, I'm friends with the Hammer, Fred.
He was in a bunch of those.
A long time. Yeah, and I've been emailing him. He hasn't emailed me recently, but like the first time he ever called me, I wish I saved the message. Just Sterling, this is the Hammer. And I played that to somebody. I could listen to that all day long.
Gotta like that.
Fred's a great guy. Fred is just a terrific guy.
And then here's the newest one. So Invasion. That right there.
I like that cover. I don't know. We threw that girl in. I think that kind of works.
Yeah, I enjoy this. I just watched it today, and I started to listen to the audio commentary, but I ran out of time.
I like all the sci-fi elements in it, like the like the little babies in it, the like digital babies and stuff like that. If you like this kind of stuff, do that great little films, you know.
Yeah. Well, and then you've added to it, and Mark mentioned there's apes in RoboWar. So I guess you guys kind of thought that might fit because of the apes.
That's a new cover. That's actually a new cover from the original. Did you know that?
Oh, no. I thought it was the same. I'll have to go check it out then.
No, we put a different ape. We put a different ape on the cover.
Oh, so okay. I'll have to check that out.
I go in that movie. I like that movie a lot. We threw everything in the kitchen sink on that movie. There's everything in that movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And these are all directed by Mark, so it's a nice little collection of his. Yeah. And then this is one of, I got to admit, when I first saw this, I was like, Then I watched it again and became a big fan. I don't know what changed for me. But Yeti Experiment, I really liked Yeti Experiment, and it was just weird. Maybe I was sleepy or just watching it too late, and I was just like, now I'll watch it again in the morning. Put it on in the morning and went, I really like this. I'd like to see another Yeti movie.
I'm not a huge fan of that movie, but I'm glad you're saying that. And a lot of times these movies, at first, I don't like a lot of them, but after a while, they really grow on you. It's like I did a movie called Blood Sisters a long time ago. When I first made it, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. No, I love this movie. It's when a movie goes retro. That's when it's, when it after so many years, it grows on you. And then there's certain movies that just get better, like I said, Hell's Highway, which was Jeff Leroy's We made it for Darren Ramage over at the Brain Damage Films. But that movie, I don't care. You want to watch something scary at 2 a.m. with the lights off? Watch that movie. I think it plays good. That Factory is kind of like creepy, and Tiffany Shepis and that. It's like we just like. I just like making this stuff. It's like, of course, I want to make better films. I made better. Like I said, you want to watch something better? Watch Devil's Domain, and we had Michael Madsen in it. We shot it in red. We had like a bigger budget, and it's on Tubi. I think it's on Amazon and other places. And 27 Club. I like that movie a whole lot. When I first saw it, I'm like, but now I really like it. Todd Rundgren's in it, who I always like. Todd. He produced. For people who don't know Todd Rundgren, he produced Meatloaf, Spat Out of Hell, 17 million albums in the U.S. sold. Todd was one of the bigger producers and a big artist in the 70s. Grand Funk. The Tubes, if anyone knows the Tubes, they had the number one hit that Todd produced. And Todd has been in the Ringo Starr band for a long time. So, it's great to work. It's great to work with these guys. I did a movie. I didn't get to work with them, but I was involved with the movie with Lemmy from Motorhead called Sunset Society, and Phoebe Dollar's in it, and a lot of Dizzy Reed, and some other guys from the script back, and that's on Tubi, so you can watch that for free and sit through ads. But so I just want people to see those movies so you can see the range. I have a movie coming out on. I know I'm supposed to be selling box sets by them, but on iTunes they're re-releasing. Attitude for Disaster, and it's going to be in HD. We shot it in 2007. It's HD. We shot it in 2007. Ford Austin directed it. It's great. I love the music in it. I did a lot of movies for Cleopatra Records, so all those movies we had great soundtracks. A lot of people that like on Attitude, it opens my logo. And that's Sterling Entertainment. Animation, Round and Round's playing under it by the Rat, so that's kind of cool. All this kind of stuff, making these movies, and like you could make movies anywhere, but I think I did the right thing coming to Los Angeles, to be honest, especially when I did. I think even though you could make movies anywhere now, I still think. People, they should come to LA, even if they don't work, they should come out here for a couple weeks, just experience. LA is going through kind of a tough time now, but I think people should go and they see Capitol Records building, and they should take the Universal tour, and if they can work on a couple sets while they're here, that's great. But just to see what. It's different. I lived in Chicago when it was like it's like moving to a different planet. When I moved, you lived in LA. I know you live in California. I think you'd probably agree to a certain extent.
Yeah,
Vegas.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between LA, San Francisco, and Vegas. They really are like different planets. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. You got it, like LA is LA, San Francisco, and Vegas. I think all three of them have good and bad quality.
Sure.
I don't know San Diego. I hear all these things about San Francisco. I was there for vacation. I've been there. I've never seen the bad stuff, to be honest. I'm sure it's out there, but I've never seen the stuff you hear, and I'm sure it's there. It's in LA and stuff like that. But when we went out there, we had a good time, to be honest. So it's like, I think, people just want to be good and stuff like that. And I don't want to get caught up on that anyway. And then we're looking into different cities to go produce stuff. And we're working on the Joe Sherlock box set, which probably won't be out for, they take a while. These box sets, there's a lot of stuff you gotta do. You gotta do artwork. Some of these movies are SD, so you wanna up-res them to like a Blu-ray quality somewhat. You wanna make a new menus, new artwork, and there's a lot of moving parts to these things. And like I said, I wish I had more. I wanted to have 10 out by Christmas. If I have 8, I'll be lucky. And I'll do them until they stop selling, basically. And next year I'm gonna do like a mega box set, which a lot of movies, but like the best artwork ever. I have an idea for that. So it's it's fun. Look, I'm not. Am I not good on camera? I'm like I watch people do like they just sit like this and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just.
Hey, but you know what? Whatever makes you comfortable. So that's a.
And I put my.
So what is it? I mean, how much art do you have to go through? Like how many pages? How many? Like to do all of this. I mean, this is a lot of work. And I hope people appreciate it. What does it take to go into this whole thing?
Well, like I have a really good art guy, and he does works for other people too. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to give all my secrets away. But like,
nope, don't have to
find. And he's really good, and what he does, like he comes up with like a sketch. Like we send him like a trailer of the movie, and then he sees probably the original art, and he comes up with the sketch. And he sent me a sketch this morning on which movie? Beyond the Wall of Fear. Is that the Joe Sherlock film? And I saw it, and I made some notes. And I think Joe's made. Usually it's just me and the art guy, but Joe's involved too. So he made. I think Joe made notes, and they do the artwork. I mean, they do the sketch because like he paints this stuff, so you can't do many changes when it's done. So he does a sketch. I just want to let people know that like me and him just did like I love this band Andrea True Connection. They sing that song more and more and more. It's a big disco hit. I don't know if a lot of people know it, like older people would, but younger, if you're 30, you don't know this song, maybe even 40. But Andrea True more and more and more, and she was a disco queen, and after I did some artwork, and they sent me, the president goes, I'm doing we got some rights to Andrea True music, and we're going to do an album. Can your guy do the album? Can your guy do the artwork for the cover? And I was like in heaven because it's like, so I got involved because I really like this artist, so it was like really cool. And then they wanted to do another artist that I really like, but it's like this guy had only so much time, so we had to pass, or I'm never going to get any of my work done. But it was like really cool that we got to do work with an artist because I have a music background, but I've never like, well, we did this one, and he's got records and stuff, so that was cool. So I got some record stuff, and then I have an album, and then like
okay.
Lemmy's in this one, Disney Reed and Phoebe Dollar. Phoebe Dollar directed and produced this movie, and Ralph Kanievsky worked on it, and actually. The movie was made in 2007. It never got released. And then I brought it over to Cleopatra, and they made a deal for it. And then they gave production money. So we went down and we shot like 3 extra days on it. And to upgrade it, there's some animation on it with Lemmy. You can see it on, I know for sure, Amazon. It might be, I think it's on Tubi too. And there's animation with Lemmy on it, which is kind of cool. And Phoebe Dollar knew Lemmy very well. I think Phoebe I met him once. but we didn't work on a movie together. But I met him once, and I don't know, he seemed like a nice guy, and definitely a classic legend, and I think he was at Phoebe's wedding and stuff like that. So anyway, and I think he was in another Phoebe movie. I think he's been in a couple of Phoebe movies. So anyway, so we're doing Joe's Box, and then there's another company. I didn't sign a deal yet, but I think when I do this box, if we do the deal, I really like it. I want to do a witchcraft box. I don't know if we'll be able to get to it, because if I do it, I don't think I'm going to have all the witchcraft films, because Trauma owns 9 of them, and I don't know. I don't know if I can make a deal with them or not. I don't even know if I want. So I might go out and make another witchcraft film to be in the box, because I think not every box I'm going to do is going to have a new film, but I try to have a new movie with each new box.
Sure.
So with Things movies or the Monkey movies, because a lot of these, most of these, I'm just trying to think, like, The Occultist, the one is like, that's a 12-year-old movie, these are older movies and stuff like that. So I want to kind of update the stuff as much as I can, just depending on where we are, the schedule, all this kind of stuff, And hey, if a bigger company wants to call me up and do business, we're available. We're available. I have a big library of stuff, and some retro, like we're working on. I want to do the Zombie Chronicle box, and I want to do a Deadly Culture box. But that means I got to make new movies and everything else. So all this stuff takes time, So, but I'm, and as long as it keeps selling, I'm going to do it. If not, I'm going to have to think of something else. I'm going to quit and cry.
Well, I mean, it definitely sounds like you have a long future then, especially with box sets and knowing that you got to, make other films to put in there.
Yeah, it's just, it's how the market, it's how many more people, like, I don't care if the box set's not an original idea, but like, if the more the micro crowd and how many, there's, it depends on the competition too. I mean, there's, I don't want to talk about anyone's box set, but there's box sets coming out, and box set's not an original idea. I mean, I didn't think about it. There's been, as long as there's been home media, there's been box sets,
Sure.
It's like, and great box sets. Like, I remember when like Space 1999 came out, it was like this big box, like 17 discs. Now I think if you got it on Blu-ray, it'd probably be like 3 discs or something, But,
right.
It was cool boxes and stuff like that. And people that like, some people don't like any physical stuff. Like I said, I'm pretty much at the end of like mass hoarding my physical stuff. But, I'm still just changing the subject. I've been buying, I'm music, so I've been doing a lot of albums over the past few years, but I'm starting to buy more CDs again. I just bought the Black Sabbath Sabotage box set, so I'm buying more CDs. I got, I know I'm pimping because I like this band, I'll pimp them out. A UFO, I just bought the UFO box.
Oh, I know set. UFO, yeah.
That's from like the Strangers in the Night, that's the live album. But they did 6 concerts, and there's 6 concerts in this box set. So, the original album, and then all the concerts where they pulled the material from. And that's like, that's like one of the best live albums as far as rock. That's what a lot of people feel like that, So, there's other, like I watch other people on YouTube, and never like a Thin Lizzy guy, but I listened to their live album this week, and I kind of like that. I've heard it before, but I just never been a Thin Lizzy guy. But I'm watching all these music shows. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try them, or they'll talk about this other group. I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna try these guys. This sounds cool, because it's endless with the movies and music. It's just endless, you know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
of course, when my records come out, I know everyone's going to buy those soundtracks.
Oh, at least 2 or 3 at one time. Yeah, I would think so.
Believe.
At least.
They
So,
better.
yeah.
You know, I'm from Chicago. It's a Chicago way, you know.
The Chicago way. Well, we are just about at 2 hours, believe it or not. Is there anything?
No way, really?
Yeah. It's yeah. We're started at yeah. So it's almost 2 hours. And so, is there anything else that you'd like to mention? You know, box sets, anything you'd like to plug, anything you'd like to talk about for?
Well, like I said, if you're thinking about like, hopefully you'll put some links to get a hold of me. You buy the box sets through me. Yeah, I have a Kanaki store where DVDs and Blu-rays at pretty good prices, and then I have Vimeo downloads and rentals where you could stream. And I got maybe 120 movies on there that you could download and rent. So there's you know, so whatever you like, as long as you like these type of movies, I think I have you covered. And we're always working on new stuff. I have, like I said, next week or two, I'll have the Camp Blood, and the 2 Blu-rays where people don't want the box, but they still want all the movies, so it'll be convenient for them. And then, working on the box set, shooting the movies. Hopefully, me and John have been. I think we're gonna do some Amityville movies. And
Fingers crossed. Yep, 2 of them. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully, yeah. It's like we're working on it. We're just getting everything. There's only so much time in a year, you know. Because I don't have I don't know what I'm gonna do for Christmas release yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll just wait on if I could have 2 or 3 box sets and I just release them all at Christmas and just go crazy like that, you know.
There you go.
We'll see. I get kind of antsy, you know. It's like when something's done, I kind of want to put it out. But there'll be Things 3 coming out soon, Claw 2 coming out, Things 6 coming out. These are single discs, so there'll be other stuff, and then I got whatever, you know. So hey, thanks for interviewing. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Well, thank you for being on. I'm honored to have you on. So I think it's great.
Me and John have been friends for a long time, and I do buy you lunch, John. I have
he did. He came out to Vegas and he bought me pizza, and we watched a werewolf movie over at my place.
Yeah.
So
and I gave you some special posters.
That's right. So
I think you have one poster hung in a special place in your house.
I got them right above on the ceiling of my bed, so I can always see them whenever I'm in my bed.
Well, you know, it's in my Kanaki store. I'm surprised I don't sell more of those, to be honest. That's like really a god.
Kanaki is really good. It's just a lot of plug-in, for that stuff. So, but I bought a fair amount of stuff on you. You had a sale recently, and I bought. I think I had like 9 DVDs and stuff, and I think like a couple Blu-rays. So it's So be able to check it out. Go check out his Kanaki.
Yeah. I changed the prices around, and I want to make this stuff accessible to people. And a lot of people, once they start buying, you know, if we go to Kanaki, okay, buy 4 movies. You can buy the cheaper ones. I don't care. But once you start watching this stuff, it seems like it grows on people, you know, these movies. And not just my movies, you know, John has some movies, and I don't want to plug other people. Why should I, you know? So,
well, this isn't about
John
me.
had movies, and, you know, everything's about me. But anything.
It's all about David.
It seems like I get these people, and they go, God, I never heard of you, and they start buying this stuff, and they get really into this stuff. So it's like if you're watching this and you don't have any of my movies, go to, the box sets are the way to go, really. I mean, they're great. But if you want to just go to Kanopy, I would buy like 3 or 4 films and just kind of check them out. And, and I'm not going to tell you which ones to buy. There's plenty of my own choice. But I think, or even if you just download or stream on Vimeo or, of course you go on Tubi and stuff, but then you got to sit through ads. And it really helps if you buy the movies direct from me. That's the reason, like I said, that's the reason earlier we talked about why I became a distributor, because no middleman. I mean, I still deal with middlemans and stuff, but it's not like it used to be. And then there was there was money, so you would actually you'd see money from these people,
Right.
So that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show about like the 2000s, I think, and then what we used to do. So anyways, John's going to be in Camp Blood X.
Camp Blood X, yeah. I'll have a voice role in it. Thank you. I'm very happy to be in that. So very excited.
So thank you, everybody, and thanks to you, John.
Well, and thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you, everybody, for watching. So, like I said, this is a special episode. This isn't just one filmmaker, one film. This is one producer, box sets, and many other things. So I'm very happy to have this. So all right, everybody, I'm gonna sign off, and thanks for watching.
We love everybody. We love every filmmaker.
Yeah, please support independent filmmaking. So we're all on Facebook, so you can get in contact with us and support our films, and we'll support you too.
Give me most of the money though.
Oh, wait. Where's my figure? There we go. That guy. Give that guy money. Give him money. So, all right, everybody. I will talk with you soon. Thank you, David. And that's it. So see you next time around. Thank you.